Hey, as promised, we're gonna do a quick COM-C order update.
Because you got nothing.
All right, guys, welcome back. Based on some feedback that I had gotten from this 1970s PSA review, baseball PSA reveal, people had asked if I found out, really if I examined my cards and found out why these guys, or really anything, I kind of went with anything that graded a 6 and below, why, if I could see why the grades came back as such, to sort of report back. And I do have, I guess, reasons behind all of these that I could see in the naked eye. I'm hoping they'll come through on the camera. I don't know if they will, but Joe Morgan with a 4. When I was doing the initial video, I saw that there was a little scrape that you could kind of see through, from a surface perspective. But when I looked further, there's a giant scrape basically right down the center of the card. I think you can see it right there. You should see, and then so that's definitely the reasoning behind it. I mean, you add that on top of, the edges and the corners of this one are actually pretty good, but it's the surface that totally did this one in. No doubt. And also, the other thing that I'm just seeing now is there's freaking wax stain on here, you jackass. I didn't clean the wax off of it. So you got wax, you got scrapes. There's all kinds of stuff happening with the surface there. Well done, PSA. It was just a bad decision on my part. Okay, Johnny Bench. This one got a 6. We also had a 9 come back. From what I can see here, the surface on this one is good. It's really, I mean, it's this corner, right? You can see that. That's really bad shape. It's this corner. It's not only soft, it's pretty poor. And then, I mean, on the back, it's pretty off center, but the corners, I think these corners are certainly the reasoning for the 6, as well as the slight tilt. So that makes sense. I can see that. Eddie Murray took me a little more time to find the defect, but if you see in between the E and the S, which you'll definitely be able to see when I tilt it like so, there's like a dimple or a pretty bad indentation in the front of the card. So that's probably the biggest culprit. There's some print staining here, nothing else, print dot here, nothing else that's really bad, but that's definitely, along with the fact that it's not really perfectly centered and stuff, I think that really did it in, the little indentation in between the E and the S. Mike Schmidt. So this one came back a 4, and I was sort of, at first glance, I was like, wow, I know it's off center, but 4 seemed pretty harsh. And when I looked at it more, there is a little, I'm going to call it a fingernail mark up here, and then this corner is just terrible. So I'm going to come in a little closer. There you can see the sort of creasy fingernail thing, and then I'll bring in this corner closer, but look at how bad that is. That's just soft as soft can be. So I guess that makes sense from a 4 perspective. Pete Rose, this one, I mean, the corners, all of the corners have challenges and have pretty bad challenges, right? So this one is, chipped up. This guy's, it's not only soft, it's bent a bit. And, I think the bottom 2 corners are probably in better shape than the top 2, but nothing that's really, really saving the card. I think the other thing that was pretty bad is this is, the back is way off center, and then there is almost kind of looks like a, I don't want to say like a little pencil mark or something. So this card had a whole host of issues, where if you looked at it like this, you're like, oh, that's a pretty nice card. And then when you bring it closer, it's you can tell why it ended up with a 4.5. And then this was a popular request. you know, like I said, I wasn't expecting a high grade on this, but you know, the 3 surprised me a little bit. The more I looked at it, I mean, naturally the centering is a problem, okay? The top corner is not exactly a winner here, and there's a pretty bad edge chip, you know, kind of going on there, if you see that, right? Okay, and you know, in the bottom right corner, not great, but I think you know, the bottom left corner is really poor. There we go, that's better. It's creased, it's, you know, it's soft. So I think, you know, all of those, right? The back of the card is actually pretty good. I mean, you can see the wear on the corners, but you know, those are, I think those things in conjunction, you know, yielded the 3. So hopefully you found this video useful, and you can apply it to some of your grading skills, and maybe make sure you're paying more attention to the surface. Make sure for vintage cards that you're wiping off the wax, because you don't want Joe Morgan. You don't want a Joe Morgan like this. Look at that. That's just embarrassing to not have the wax wiped off of the card. You know, but hopefully you can apply some of these to your grading experience, and hopefully I've helped you a little bit. And I will see you again soon, folks. Stay well.